I just learned to cut out the noise and just trust my own instincts. And I think that's what a lot of people today forget to do. I think we're so surrounded by people that tell us, and which is funny because I went to boarding school, so my whole life I've been told what to do. So I actually think I've just, for once, just decided, fuck it, I'll do what I want and make myself happy. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I can marry a man that's my age and it doesn't work too. There's no guarantees with anyone. So why should I listen to what everyone else says?
Hello, Brave Table fam. Welcome to another episode of The Brave Table. I'm your host, Dr. Neeta, and this is your destination, your oasis to be all things just a little bit more brave in your actions, in your relationships, and in your life. And okay, loves, what if I told you your boldest chapter started after you broke every rule that they told you to follow? Okay, Brave Table fam, get ready because today's episode is fire. I am sitting down with the one and only Caroline Stanbury, and you probably have seen her. She is a luxury brand ambassador, global TV icon from the Ladies of London, and the Real Housewives of Dubai, podcast host of Uncut and Uncensored, a super powerhouse businesswoman, and honestly, one of the most unapologetic voices on what it means to own your reinvention. Did I also mention she is a mama to 3 teens? Yep, and she does look fabulous. But what I'm most excited for today is we're actually going beyond the glam. We're talking about love that breaks rules. Caroline is married to a man 19 years younger than her, Sergio. We're also going to talk about honest parenting conversations, especially in parenting teens and young adults, and what it really takes to build a life and business that feels aligned AF. So, loves, grab that chai, hit play, and let's get on with it as we welcome Caroline Stanbury to the Brave Table this week.
Thank you. What an introduction. Thanks so much.
Oh my goodness. Well, so let's start there. You look fabulous, but you married a man that's 19 years younger.
Yes.
And I thought I was robbing the cradle, as they say in the States, when I started dating somebody that was 2 years younger than me after my divorce. And then, now we're obviously married and we have 2 kids. Can you take us through that journey? Because most women are like, I would never date a guy younger than me.
Yeah, pretty much all women say that. And when I first started dating Sergio, everyone thought I was in the middle of a midlife crisis. I'd been married 18 years, I've got 3 children, and I was 43 and he was 24. So when you put it like that, it was really crazy too.
It's 24.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
He was 24. But I mean, to be honest, he started at 31. And then he got younger and younger and younger. So he lied all the way through. And Sergio is really good at hiding it because he has a beard. And it's not till he shaves that you really see. I was like, oh my God, Benjamin Button, I'm going to jail. But, look, it's not for everyone. I wouldn't say, it isn't always easy, but we've been through a lot. But we are super connected. And I would say we're more in love today than we were when we met. And we are 7 years on. Our children are, well, my children, but he considers them his too, are very blended, very happy with him. The boys have a great time. My daughter's university anyway. And, I just learned to cut out the noise and just trust my own instincts. And I think that's what a lot of people today forget to do. I think we're so surrounded by people that tell us, and, which is funny because I went to boarding school. So my whole life I've been told what to do. So I actually think I've just, for once, just decided, fuck it. I don't know if I can swear on this.
Yes.
I'll do what I want and make myself happy. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I can marry a man that's my age and it doesn't work too. There's no guarantees with anyone. So why should I listen to what everyone else says?
Yeah.
The world is a tough enough place anyway to find someone you connect with.
And, well, you bring up such a good point because when we are finding love again, and Brave Table fam, we talk about this a lot as we brave relationships. What do you think some women miss the mark on as they are kind of navigating through divorce and finding themselves again, and even finding it in their hearts to date again?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of women either get stuck in the past, in their old life, or what they've lost, and they focus a lot on what they've lost. It wasn't their choice. And I understand that sometimes you can be blindsided, you're not ready, I spent most of my young adult life with my ex-husband. I was with him for 18 years. It's a huge decision, but it was my decision. It was our decision, right? It was something I thought about. Most people don't get out of bed and go, today's the day I'm getting divorced. Most people have thought about it for a while, women-wise. And men don't really leave. They like to try and keep their family together. I just would say to women, instead of focusing on what's been, focus on your future. Only look forward. Otherwise, you'll always be wondering. And that's a terrible place to live.
Yeah. Well, I feel like wondering with regret and wondering the what ifs. And, what finally gave you that courage to say yes to Sergio? Did you have a list? Were you kind of on the dating apps?
I loathe the list. I've never been on a dating app. I would go on a dating app. I just didn't get a chance. I just met Sergio. But I think the list should be ripped up thoroughly, because if I had a list, Sergio is none of the things. And actually, he says exactly the same about me. I would not have been on that list. Or anything close to it. So rip up the list. The list is a disaster for everyone. We don't have the same religion. We don't have the same age. We don't have the same friends. We don't have, we are complete opposite. But that is exactly why it works. I was divorced. He wants kids. I don't. The list is endless of why it shouldn't work. But I'll tell you why I decided was because he made me happy then. And I never looked farther than tomorrow, because I was like, everyone told me he was going to leave, so I was fully prepared for that. I was like, well, they're right. He's 24 years old. He's not going to spend the rest of his life with me. He doesn't even know what my life looks like with children and all of this. So I was prepared for it. And I just thought, well, the fact that I was feeling like that with Sergio would not have been fair to go home to my old life for all the wrong reasons. So I never left for Sergio, but I knew that there was something more for me. Yeah. That I could be more authentic, be more myself, or that my relationship had run its course. It was as simple as that.
Well, and I think as you're sharing this, I kind of want to double click on this a little bit more, because I feel like you, in a way, are giving women and mothers permission that even after divorce, even after having children, I think a lot of times what we think of, even for our single queens that are listening and watching this, is that, oh, that person has to be my person. Or maybe I'm not going to get into this because that person is not going to ever be my person. That person's just in their young days, or he's in that Prince era, and he's just going to go do his thing. But it seems like for you and you guys, you were just so present in that relationship.
Well, that's all we had, because it was the beginning, and I'd been with someone for so long. We only had each other. It wasn't like, I was parading him around town yet. It was very secret, right? Because I didn't want my kids to know. I didn't want my ex-husband to know, anyone to know and judge me until I was sure, right? So it was only about us, which is probably one of the things that, helped. Because by the time everybody could put their 10 cents in, we didn't really care. And
you already had that bond.
Yes.
What advice do you give to women who then are thinking, well, should I go out with this person? I don't even know if they're like long-term material, or they want different things.
But what is long-term? You see, that statement already annoys me, because it's like, what is long-term material? Why are you long-term material? Why am I long-term material? Why do women have this list of what someone needs to be before they've even got there? It's like, what makes you so special? Stop thinking about the long term. And just enjoy where we are today. I never think about where I'm going to be in 10 years with Sergio, never, because it's not relevant. My head could spin off, and it's never going to happen. I get women. Sergio and I are very public figures, right? So, obviously there are pretty girls DMing him and all of these younger women on the beach or whatever else. But he's never made me feel that I should worry about him or look around. Now, I could spend every day going through his phone. I could. But I don't. Because I could give two shits. I'm not going to look in his phone. If he wants to go and do something with someone else, me checking on his phone isn't going to stop it. And that's the whole philosophy I have in life. The moment he wants to leave, or anyone wants to leave, they'll leave. You know, and you have to be solid enough in what you do. I am busy as hell. You know, I'm building massive businesses right now. Sorry, my phone. Hang on, let me put it on vibrate. You know, I've got 3 kids. I'm not worried about where my husband is.
Right.
Or who he's talking to. And that's my husband.
He knows we're thinking about him and talking.
Yeah, there we go. And he's going to be there. I'm hanging up on my husband. He's going to think I'm doing something now, but there we go.
I want to kind of really dive into that because I feel like this is a trend, folks, that is happening more and more, is that we're scared to go on that date because either they don't fit on the list, which you said, shred up the list, but then also there's this idea that, well, if it's not going to work out in the end, that why should I even bother and why should I even try? But I feel like you guys have dismantled that completely. And what I'm really, really hearing is you've got to be so solid in yourself. And that's something that I feel like a lot of times we just
He's the cherry. He's not my cake. I'm my cake. And the one thing I always say is you can't hold on by holding on. The moment you hold on to someone, they will bolt. He calls me 50 times a day. I have to say, stop calling. It's 7 years in. And he always goes, well, I if I don't call, you won't. Because I'm just busy.
Right.
Not because I'm doing anything. I'm genuinely run off my feet working. So it's not that I don't think about him, but I just don't have time to pick up the phone 30 times a day. You know, and I think that's what keeps him on his toes.
Yeah.
If I was like going through his phone, asking him where he's going, he's in Bali right now. We're building a small hotel out there. You know, I'll speak to him after the end of this. I don't, you know, some women would hang up and take the phone call right now. I'm not going to do that.
So it sounds like you're really aligned on your vision and
Yes.
pouring into what we call here on the Brave Table, like your dharma and your purpose and what you're actually next building and creating in life. And I think a lot of times as women, we tend to flutter.
And that's the thing. On my new chapter with Sergio, we are building so much together that we're so aligned that, you know, I don't think anything can distract him from me right now because he's so excited by everything that we're building together. Like if you are fulfilled in the stuff that you do at home, I'm not thinking about who I'm having sex with this afternoon or leaving for or whatever. You know, I don't understand that. You know, the constant worry that women have about men. If you're fulfilled and you're making them happy in every other way, you know, they'll stay. Men genuinely don't really like to leave. It's the women that leave.
Right.
And men only get distracted if you're not confident, or if you're portraying this thing, or you're telling them all the time that they're doing something, they're going to go do it.
So there's this statistic now with this new like perimenopause, menopause craze that has come up, and where, you know, more often than not, women who enter menopause or perimenopause.
I'm 49, so there you go.
Okay, well, you look incredible.
Thank you.
That they start to then not give a flying F about what they think, what they say, and that there are more divorces in menopause. What do you say to that?
Well, I mean, look, I think if I was with my first husband and I was entering that era, that I'd probably get divorced, yes. But I have always been like that with Sergio, so he's already met me. I was 43, so I was probably in perimenopause then anyway, and I actually came with him to say these are my non-negotiables. I've been told what to do my whole life. It's not going to happen now. And I think that he actually he always says that the push and pull he has, he's never had a girl that was like, doesn't pick up the phone all the time because she's busy, or like, you know, is so strong in what she wants, right? But also he was kind of, because he was 24 and he just finished playing for Real Madrid, he actually didn't know where he wanted to go either. He'd never been to the Middle East. So not only that, I had to like pick him up, bring him here, and figure out what I was going to do with him.
Wow.
At 24, where he was going. He wasn't established. And I was going through a divorce. So, and the fact now we are becoming more successful than we've ever been. And we have, I think, so many businesses running right now. And we've just launched these women's retreats, which we've just come off one now in Arizona. We've got 2 in Maldives. We've got, you know, it's
so
been
excited
crazy.
for that.
Yeah. We've just bought, I think we're on our about our 9th apartment buying here.
Oh, here.
Yeah,
goodness.
in Dubai. We are building a hotel in Bali. We're so busy. We're launching our wellness brand in the vitamin shops in America next week.
Oh, so fun.
Thank you. And on the shopping channel.
What's the name of the vitamin?
Bust the label.
Bust the label.
Bust the label.
Bust the label.
Yeah, we don't fit in a box kind of thing.
Yep.
It's all, and we are, I've got my homeware line coming out. We've got the houses we're building. I mean, we've got so much on. I can't breathe right now, to be honest.
And you're still on TV.
And and I'm traveling, and we're leaving now for 3 months, and then we go to Monaco, the Grand Prix, Amphar, Ibiza. We're on a boat around the Amalfi Coast, back to Saint-Tropez. Like, we're gone. Then we go to trekking with the gorillas in Rwanda.
Oh, you're doing that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Do you both have a ritual that brings you back home to center when you're now obviously the highest fulfillment ever? You guys are so aligned as a couple. You're now doing these soulful things for you, but then also you have all of your other serial entrepreneurial passions. Mm-hmm. Is there something that grounds you both as a couple that you probably didn't do in other relationships? Yeah, I mean, Sergio takes my phone away from me at night. Then he sort of he loves to do, I don't know if I can say all this. Sure.
Get naked in the bed and just lie together. But
amazing.
Tummy to tummy and just look at each other and talk. And that's his non-negotiable. He has to have that. He loves it. He's really, really, really a cuddler. So I guess that grounds us and brings us, no matter how stressed you are, you kind of relax in that. And I never thought I would say that because I'm an overheater, probably perimenopause. And I can't, he would lie sleeping cuddled with me all night. I can't do it. I have to just do.
Do you move him?
I move him.
See, I'm the cuddler.
Oh.
And my leg is over my husband, and then he's just like, okay, we're done. Like, I need to.
I move him, but then we have feet.
Oh, okay.
Always feet and one hand behind the back.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. See, you can't get mad at someone when you guys are obviously naked in bed and cuddling.
No.
There's no way. You have so much oxytocin that'll just come out of your body anyways.
It just sort of settles you.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. That's powerful. So, how was it when your children met Sergio, and was there any resistance? What were some of the things that you had to kind of navigate at that time?
Of course, at the beginning they thought he was a friend, so as a friend they loved him. Mm-hmm. Also, he's an ex-soccer player, that they love all that. But then, as they understood, children always battle against someone they think, might try and be their father, or, obviously their dad is their dad. And, children will always fight for the family. Mm. But I believe that 2 happy parents is better than 1.
Yeah.
And now we are, as I said, 7 years on, and my children are absolutely fantastic with him.
It's amazing.
But it took a long time.
Yeah.
Especially with my sons.
Your sons are older?
No, they are 15.
Okay.
My daughter's 19.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And I want to go back to this because, what would you say to women who are watching this who feel like love might have passed them by, or maybe it's too late?
Bullshit.
Or they're too much?
No. Absolutely go for it. Most of my friends in second marriages are having the time of their lives.
Yeah.
If it's run its course, I'm not saying leave your husband, because I know lots of people who are still married and super happy too. Mm-hmm. So, absolutely stay in your marriage. But if you're unhappy in your marriage, there is no reason to stick it out.
Even if they say
the grass isn't greener.
Right, or let's stick it out for the kids.
Stick it out for the kids doesn't work. Kids aren't idiots, and they're not going to live with you for the rest of your life. So, these are your best years. And the rest of it, the grass is greener. If you're unhappy, the grass is greener. And that's the fact. But I knew I'd be okay on my own. You see, a lot of women can't be on their own. Yeah. But then I looked at it like this. I was like, what is on my own? I've got 3 kids. How am I going to be on my own? I'll never be on my own. Even if Sergio goes, I won't be on my own. And as it happens now, even I get no alone time. My kids and Sergio all come to the shower when I'm showering to ask me anything because they know I can't run. It's either the shower or the bathroom.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's awful. I see
Even when they're teenagers?
Yes.
It does not stop?
No, my sons absolutely corner me in the shower.
Oh my goodness.
They're going to hate me for saying this.
Okay, I want to get into part 2 because raising teens is no joke. I have a 3 and a 6-year-old, so I think I have some time.
Oh my God, you're way off.
I know.
Although I probably hate that time more, actually. 3 and 6
the
was
screaming,
like having,
screaming.
Yes.
Daily,
and they're just running everywhere. You can't reason with them. You can't have any nice furniture. Everything is just like knocked off. No, I wouldn't. I mean,
You'll take the teen years?
I'll take the teen.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I am being told to fuck off and have the door shut in my face is better than a toddler.
Oh no.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay. Well, with this whole kind of AI that's coming into play, with all of the things that are going on with like Roblox and Minecraft and all of these things where there's predators kind of everywhere on every corner.
Oh my God,
of the
I just did an interview last night with Meta about safety on all of this, Instagram and all of these things. So ask me anything because I know it all.
Okay.
Did an hour on
So we want to know, what is it that we should and shouldn't be doing with our kids online? And how young should we start having these conversations? Do we have to block screen time? What is it that you...
Well, first of all, yours are way too young. So that's, I mean, just for the games, that's fine. Roblox and all of that, they all played all of that. But, screen time is extremely important at that age, obviously, because a lot of children are going back to not going to the loo anymore. If you've trained them, they won't, if they're in the middle of the game, they don't get up, they just wet themselves. So you've got to be extremely aware of all that. The longer you can keep them off between 3 and 6, obviously the better. But the one thing that I did with my children at that age is let them watch the cartoons and things like that when, if we're going to restaurants or in the car in the worst spaces, then I would give it to them. But it does become really hard. I have one son who's a gamer, and then I have one son who doesn't care at all. So it just depends. What we did with our children was and actually this is what we were discussing with Meta the other night, was they have automatic anyway
switch offs.
So basically they have, I think you have to be 13 to be on Instagram regardless. And then they do certain screen times, and there's lots of different settings you can do where you can only get comments from your friends. We, my ex-husband and I, we actually are good friends now. So what we do is we choose, our kids are private, so we just choose all their friends.
So you look and choose who they're...
Yeah, they show us who's asked to be their friend, and then we accept or don't. And that's what we did. Screen time is a lot harder now. They're teenagers. I mean, obviously my daughter is 19. She's an adult. She's gone. But she's at university and couldn't care less about TV or phones, really. And I think, funnily enough, having a mother that's on TV, that does so much social media, and, I have a whole tech team. Obviously, I have a YouTube channel. I have all of these. I have the podcast and everything around me, so I'm always on the screen. So, imagine me telling them to put the phone down. They literally burst out laughing and go, from you, I don't think so. So it's really their dad has to do that. And they're pretty good kids. As long as, my motto when they're 13 or 14 is, as long as they're going to school, they are going to after school activities. Mine are playing soccer till 7 o'clock at night.
Oh, wow.
That, things like that. And they want to do all that. Then, the weekend's a fair game. Do what you want.
And what is your take about kind of the friendships that are coming into their life?
Well, I live in the Middle East, so it's so much easier. When I look at what my sister-in-law is going through in the UK and their cousins and all this, I mean, it's just, they have drugs, alcohol. The kids there's a huge problem over there. We don't have any of that. So, I tend to give my sons real freedom because my son just called me twice here. He just landed. He's going to the Travis Scott concert tonight.
Oh, fun.
And, I tend to give them a lot of freedom, so that they feel, grown up, and they feel like they're getting privileges, and I also open the conversation that they can tell me anything. I think there was one story at the school where they had not porn shaming, but what's it where you get a naked picture and send
Oh,
it
yeah.
round on the internet. And
Yeah.
I was like, why? This is, and that's opened that conversation. Like, never send something like this, because it will live with you for the rest of your life. So I have a very, very, bring me anything, no judgment. If you bring it to me, you are not in trouble.
Right. Oh, that's big. That's
Yeah.
huge. Because otherwise, then they're just going to keep it from you and get in trouble in other ways. Okay. What's the biggest misconception that people have of you as a mom?
I think people think that I'm cold because, I've got this very British way about me. I'm not very touchy-feely. I don't just call my parents very often. My husband now is a real mummy's boy. And I am, but I am, my kids tell me they love me all day long. We hug, we talk, we have the most open relationship of anyone. Literally, all their friends want to hang out at my house. They tell me everything, sometimes too much. And actually, friends of mine were over here, and they were like, they cannot believe how open I am with my kids. So I think that people would be surprised at how much we actually talk and how they are my friends. My sons absolutely adore me, even though I'm blocked on social media.
Oh, you are blocked?
Yes, because apparently my TikToks are mortifying.
What do you do when your kids' friends kind of then ask, or they like fan you, or do they get mortified, and do you guys talk about that?
Well, my daughter's at university, so they call me the yummy mummy. So, on a Saturday night, she's in a nightclub, and I always have to speak to God knows how many boys, which Sergio finds really weird. He's like, and I'm like, look, she's at school, this will run out. It's her first year of uni. But look, I've been on TV, and they've been on TV since they were 2, I think.
Oh, wow.
So, they've grown up with people. I mean, Ladies of London was cult in the US.
Yes.
And so they've grown.
Huge,
yeah,
yeah.
it was. And they've grown up with craziness around them, and, they're okay.
Yeah. So now, what are some of the most vulnerable conversations we can have with our pre-tweens and teens as a mom?
I think everything, like their body's changing, do they want to be on birth control? As teens, obviously going later, do they want, anything can happen, explaining all of those things is extremely uncomfortable. So I just hit it. Straight on.
Straight on.
Straight on.
And what about this, the porn conversation and the sex conversation? Because I feel like, obviously in the States and obviously in the West.
Not so available here, but yes.
It's available.
Via VPNs, and I'm sure they're watching it somewhere. Look, what is the conversation? I mean, to respect women. I don't really ask them too much, just to be aware of, as I said, of everything. When you see things like that, or if you've got friends, Snapchat is one I've tried. Find hard for me to get my head around, because I always felt like Snapchat was for teens to sort of send a picture of a boob or something, and then it explodes.
I don't understand why.
I don't understand why it needs to explode.
Right.
So I always said to them when that conversation was opened by the scenario that happened. And I sort of said, when you put something like that out, or, if a girl asks you to send something, or you ask a girl, that lives with you forever. And I said, don't put anything on the internet that you don't want me to see. Right? And it's as simple as that. If you don't want me and your entire family to see it, don't put it on the internet. And, I think that sort of got home to them. I was like, it's not because, I don't want you to do any of these things. They're going to do it. You're going to do all of these things. But, wait, there's no hurry. If you want to have a drink or try a drink, I'd rather they tried one with me.
Yeah.
All of these things, I don't know, what it is. Come to me, tell me you're thinking about it. I'd much rather be in control of a situation than not.
I mean, it's so inspiring to see, and obviously watching you on social media, I feel like I want to segue into, you and Sergio come from very different cultures, and you've even kind of created funny memes about it,
Yeah.
funny things about it. How are you embracing each other's cultures now that you're navigating this next chapter of you guys?
Well, culturally, we're extremely difficult, and I find it very hard because if Sergio had his way, he'd have his mum and dad living with us, which is just...
It's very Spanish, right?
Very Spanish, not happening, not unless I'm moving out. But I have understood they need to be close. So the father is now in Bali with Sergio. He's moved there to run the project, so that's one down. His mother, I don't know what will happen, frankly. I'll have to have a nanny flat nearby. But no, I mean, on the other hand, every time I fight it, I understand that it could be worse. If he looks after his mother like that, he's going to look after me like that. And so what am I fighting? I'm trying to push out the bits that, most men, toxic masculinity, don't have.
Right.
And I want to teach my kids. So when I look at him with his mother, I'm like, well, if my boys are like that with me, it'd be wonderful. Because he's going off, he's going off now for 2 weeks with his sister and his mother on a trip.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And although I'm very happy I'm not going, I can appreciate it. And it's not about them. It's just, I'm a very odd person like that. But I think, again, I went to boarding school from 6 to 18. So
That's
I didn't grow up with
insane.
my own family. So growing up with his family is not something, I'm very independent.
Yeah, and I mean, it definitely builds character, because my bonus mama, one of the mothers who raised me, she also went to boarding school at 10. So I want to kind of double click on that for a second. How was that time for you? Because was it expected in your family, or was it just
we all went. So, it's very, very British. If you had any money, that's where everyone went. So, it was a kind of keeping up with the Joneses. Everybody from any good family was sent to boarding school. It's hard. You grow up in boot camp. It's really, really hard. A gong wakes you up, and you line up. Well, a good way to put it is you're in the military.
Yeah.
You're in the military, so you're told when to wake up, when to sleep, when to play, when to eat, what to think. So I think that's why I'm so strong now.
If there was something that you would change or do differently, or perhaps maybe say to the younger version of yourself, now knowing and having all of the, worldly pleasures at your feet, and kind of you've had this full life, what would that be?
Well, I don't know, because I don't believe in regret or, looking back. Everything that has led me here. And it's funny, because I am in the right place. Obviously, I hate hurting anyone, and it's wonderful now, 7 years on, that, I have my ex-husband as a friend, and, we're looking to travel all together this year. And, I have an amazing life, but I have worked tirelessly for that.
Yeah.
Right? So I feel like a woman that has it all. So I don't know if I would change anything, because if I was living at home, my parents had kept me at home, and I'd had a better childhood, would I be this strong? Probably not. I'm really bloody minded. If I want something, I go get it.
Yeah. It's inspiring to see, for sure. Because my aunt, who's like in her late 70s, I'm like, yep, she's the same. She's the same.
I must be doing something, because the people that follow me are incredible. And, the people that showed up on these my retreat, my first retreat, one woman was running for Congress.
Oh my goodness.
One was from Princeton, one was from Harvard, 3 had sold their companies, one had 8 clinics in America, one had, they were all super powerful women, probably, and I was like, why are you all here? Because they were inspired for their next chapter, not about breaking up in their relationships. Most of them were happily married, by the way. They just wanted, their purpose now, and they wanted the community with like-minded, strong women, and that's what I now know I'm building. And, if I sat back last November and said, I'm going to start an Airbnb business. Well, by where are we now? November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Are we May?
Yeah.
I have 9 properties.
Oh my gosh, you just said that.
Yes.
So let's get into this reinvention, because now, global TV icon, multiple businesses, multiple lines of income. You're obviously inspiring the masses in many ways. And now you're doing these retreats. You have another, you're doing this new Bali project. Where does the reinvention come from, and what do you get inspired by?
Well, it's not completely a reinvention. I mean, I think what people forget is when I was on Ladies London, I had a massive business. I had nearly 87 employees. I had raised almost $10 million, and we were doing, we were in 76 countries. So I was the CEO of a very big company for 7 or 8 years. Mm-hmm. So, I've always been a businesswoman. And before that, I was looking after some of the biggest families in the UK, and I was doing part of the back end for American Express. So I've always worked. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just that when I moved to the Middle East, I was getting divorced. I was in the middle of another legal situation, which I won everything. And I just wasn't in the, I wanted to, and I'd finished my first show, and I just needed a break. So when I moved here, they only had that of me, that I wasn't working. But I've always worked. I've always been a power bitch. And I'm just,
yes, queen,
I just got my power back. And I just decided, I was sick to death of everyone sort of shitting, I suppose, on Sergio and me.
Yeah.
And I always said Sergio is super powerful. Like 1%, 0.5% of the world make it to Real Madrid. Okay.
It's like the goal of every little boy's dream.
Every
right?
little boy's dream,
yeah.
Okay? He was number 11. So if Ronaldo or Bale broke their leg, he was the one that played. And, granted they didn't, and he only played the friendlies when he got there, but they put him there. Mm-hmm. He would have been the one that played. So, I'd like to see you get there, right? And so what did that show me at 24? It showed me he showed up. It showed me he had grit. It showed me he can work his ass off. Then he had the owner of one of the biggest basketball teams in America fly to Mexico with him at 24 to do a ticketing business. And it didn't work, but that doesn't matter. He got him on the plane.
Right.
I couldn't believe how he got him on the plane. He owned one of the biggest basketball teams in America. I was like, it was mind-blowing.
At 24.
24. And so I was like, Sergio's always been that human too. It's just people like to pretend, or to, because he's good looking, right? Mm-hmm. That he must be, just a sugar baby, and he's just something for my art. Why would I be with a sugar baby? Mm-hmm. For what? I've got, no need.
Seems like you know how to pick them.
Well, he picked me, actually.
So what does success look like for you now?
Oh, that's a very good question. I get asked it all the time, and I'll tell you very easily. It used to be what was in my bank account. It's now sleeping with peace. I have no anxiety. I don't wake up in the night panicking where anything's coming from. I am truly at peace.
And so what is the mission and goal of these retreats now that you're doing everywhere? Because I want to come to the one in the Maldives. We'll actually link it in the show notes for you as well.
Oh, you're so cute. Please come. The mission now, it was funny because, as I was saying, I didn't know what sort of women were coming. And I think when you start to do it, because my podcast used to be Divorced Not Dead, now it's Uncut and Uncensored.
It was Divorced Not Dead. I love that.
Divorced Not Dead.
Have you done a stand-up comedy set?
I haven't done a stand-up comedy set, but I've done a lot of standing up on stage and talking.
Yeah. I think that's next for you, probably.
Comedy?
Yes.
Oh my God. But let me. I did all these. What are they called? When you see, this is what happens. This is perimenopause.
Oh gosh, the brain fog.
Brain fog. Surveys. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yes.
I did a lot of surveys, and I didn't know if people were coming for business or relationships. And every woman that turned up on that wanted business. So what I think we are doing is building an incredibly powerful network of women that after they all left, they started doing business together. There was one woman, she was 34, she's built 10 million, and she had nothing, by the way, she was a student. 10 million of property and huge amount of equity now, and she's actually showing me how to do the multifamily units over there. I learned so much from the women, but they said 3 of them have rebooked the new one.
Oh my goodness.
I know it's only in November and they've just been now. It's so funny, but I can only take 25 at a time.
Of course.
So because we do one-on-ones. And one woman had flown all the way from Australia, 17 hours to meet me and do this.
Oh my goodness.
And she was doing all this sort of, she did all the decorating for Under Armour and Nike stores and things like that. Everyone was really powerful in that room, and it was an amazing, amazing, electrifying room where we all came out with the answers we wanted, and everybody knew their next step, and that's what was so amazing.
So this next one in the Maldives, this is going to be something similar. So
Yes.
if you were curious about business, strategy.
So financial freedom for women.
Okay.
Business, strategy, community. I've realized women at our age all want community.
Yep.
And
Sometimes lonely at the top, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's a sense of purpose, I think, and we are teaching all of that, and we're sort of just solving your next steps. I think a lot of us have the answer right under our noses, but sometimes when you're in the thick of it, you just don't know how to open it, and that's what we did.
Okay, so where can we learn about, obviously, the new podcast and all of the retreats, and obviously you, Caroline?
So you can follow me on Caroline Stanbury on all my social media, and TikTok is Caroline Stanbu, unfortunately, because couldn't get my name. And then YouTube. What else do we have? BustTheLabel.com has my retreats. It has all my wellness, and I've got a new website launching. BustTheLabel.com.
BustTheLabel. Okay.
And we'll have the retreats. It's linked on my Instagram as well, and I'll give you the link.
We'll link it in the show notes. We'll link everything in the show notes.
And that's everything, really. Perfect. You can find me anywhere on Apple, Spotify.
So before we get into our final Spill the Chai round, yes, where we are rapid fire questions, is there anything that you want to leave our audience with?
No, just don't be fooled into society and what society tells you to do. There is no such thing anymore. You can be and do anything you want in life, and I'm just getting started, and I'm 49.
Oh, fabulous. Okay, this is totally off topic, but your favorite glow up hack for yourself at 49. What should all of the younger girlies be doing? Is it lasers? Is it
salmon DNA sperm? Yeah.
Really?
It's amazing.
I've heard about this, but I was like, is this another fad?
No, it's not a fad. It's absolute. Salmon DNA is actually the closest thing to human DNA, and it is amazing.
Salmon DNA sperm.
Yeah, well, it's actually just salmon sperm, but sometimes you can't use that word here, but
oh, really?
DNA or
salmon DNA.
Yeah.
On your face. All right.
Injected
on your face.
Into your face.
Better than exosomes.
But yes.
Better than PRP.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I do PRP on my chest as well. I love lasers, BLB. I love Pico. I love Ultra Clear. I mean, I do all of them. I'm going straight from here to my appointment.
Okay.
Which I'm now late for. Thank you, guys.
Most unexpected lesson from marrying somebody younger?
That it's actually, we laugh every day. The lesson is it does work. I mean, I wasn't really expecting it to work. So many people told me, I had Googled every single May to December relationship this way round, and none of them had worked. So I'm doing it for you all out there.
And ladies and gents, sleeping naked under the covers, obviously the best.
The best.
Okay, I'm taking that one home. Secret mom superpower when the teens are losing their shit.
I mean, when teens, I walk away, really. I just think there's no point engaging with them because it's hormonal. You need to walk away and come back and then readdress it in a lower tone, because if you elevate, they're going with you.
Yeah.
You've just got to remember it's like they have their period all the time.
Or they're like a toddler losing their shit at 3.
There's no point. You can't.
It's the same.
It's just exactly the same, and not to take it to heart. Like when that happens with my husband now, he gets very offended. I'm like, I don't even know what they're saying, and they don't mean it. Walk away, come back, have the conversation later.
Are they okay then after the 20
Completely
minutes?
fine, like nothing had ever even happened.
Okay, so it's hormonal.
It's hormonal.
Now, what does it mean to be brave in this season and stage of life?
Oh, I mean, what does it mean to be brave? I think just means wear what you want, be who you want. Don't worry about anyone else. The more you go up and the more you find yourself, it's funny, the less friends you'll have.
Yeah. One word that describes the season of life.
Epic.
Epic! Oh my gosh, Caroline Stanbury, you've been epic.
Thank you.
Thank you for your unabashed, unapologetic, unleashed version of you. I'm loving this version. Aren't you all loving this version? Okay, go ahead and follow her everywhere. When can we catch the next season of The Housewives?
I actually don't know. There's so many of us on pause. You know, Bravo just release us back whenever. You never know.
You never know. Well, stay tuned. And if you aren't watching, I will link that also in the show notes. Congrats on everything. What an inspiration.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course. And we will see you next time on The Brave Table.
Bye.
You know I've got so much more in store for you. So if you are really ready to dive in and keep owning your emotions like the boss that you are, click right here. Go ahead, don't be shy. I'll see you in the next one. Keep shining.